Welcome back to The Explainer. Man, I am absolutely pumped you're joining us today because, wow, we are looking at what is guaranteed to be a legendary matchup. We are setting the stage right now for a massive, absolute blockbuster of a 2026 World Cup quarterfinal down in Miami. You can literally feel the electricity just talking about it. The lights are bright, the stakes absolutely could not be higher, and today we're going to break down exactly how these two unbelievable powerhouse squads stack up against each other.
Okay, let's dive into this. One nation is chasing history. The other is defending its legacy. I mean, that quote right there, it perfectly captures the massive narrative contrast going into this match. We're not just looking at 22 guys running around on a pitch. No, we are witnessing two entirely different psychological realities colliding. On one hand, you've got this ferocious hunger for a first-ever breakthrough. On the other, the incredibly heavy, undeniable weight of historical expectation.
Section 1, Clash of the Titans. To really wrap your head around this matchup, you gotta frame it in your mind like a massive heavyweight boxing bout, right? Where just one single blow could define an entire sporting generation. So let's look at the tail of the tape here to see how these heavyweights compare. In one corner, we have Norway. Sure, they're positioned as the underdogs, but man, they are riding this unbelievable wave of momentum after absolutely shocking the world and eliminating Brazil. Seriously, no way anyone saw that coming. And stacked directly against them in the other corner, we have England, the heavy favorites. They're bringing this deep, experienced resolve, especially after proving their grit by getting past Mexico. It's the ultimate classic battle. Raw, surging momentum, going toe-to-toe with battle-tested pedigree.
Section 2. Norway's historic dream.
For Norway, you have to understand this is so much more than just another football match. This is completely uncharted territory for them. Just look at how beautifully this progression illustrates the historic path the Vikings have taken to get to this exact threshold. Step 1, stunning everyone and sending Brazil packing. Step 2, locking in their first ever World Cup quarterfinal appearance. And now Step 3, they are sitting just 90 minutes away from a dream semifinal. It's a remarkably clear, step-by-step climb right into the history books.
Now, driving this massive surprise of a tournament run is a terrifyingly effective attacking duo. I mean, Norway's attack is frankly one of the biggest surprises of the entire tournament, and it relies heavily on two absolute pillars. First, you've got Erling Haaland operating as the sheer, unstoppable force at the top of the formation, and right behind him, his captain, Martin Odegaard, acting as the brilliant orchestrator, making the whole shebang tick. Honestly, together they've taken Norway from being dark horses to a legitimate, terrifying threat.
Section 3. England's enduring legacy.
All right, shifting our focus impartially over to the established giants, because this isn't about Cinderella stories anymore. It is about what it takes to defend a legacy under massive pressure. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how England's confidence actually stems from surviving a really brutal round of 16 battle against Mexico. That gritty survival battle barred hard in the Three Lions. Plus, they boast a squad just totally packed with international stars. They've got Jude Bellingham acting as the supreme controller in the midfield, and of course, Captain Harry Kane consistently delivering when the lights are brightest. They fiercely believe this could finally be their year.
Let's break down how this translates into the specific tactical matchups that will actually decide the game. Walking through this head-to-head breakdown is just, well, it's a dream for football fans. Up top in the striker duel, you've got Haaland's raw explosive power squaring off against Kane's seasoned clinical lethality. Then you move to the midfield maestros, where it's Odegaard's incredible vision up against Bellingham's absolute control of the pitch. And out wide, it's all about explosive pace with Antonio Nusa challenging the likes of Saka and Gordon. It is literally world-class talent squaring off across every single blade of grass.
Section 4. The tactical X factors. So let's move away from the obvious headlines for a second and get into the real strategy where this match will actually be won or lost. The real battle happens on the wings. Look, while every single fan in that stadium is going to have their eyes glued to Haaland and Kane just waiting for a goal, the actual game-changing sparks, those vital moments of creation, they are going to detonate on the outer edges of the pitch.
Because these are the players specifically tasked with igniting those sparks. For England, the wide threats of Bukayo Saka and Anthony Gordon bring this relentless, exhausting pace and creativity. And on the Norwegian side, they counter with the super exciting young star Antonio Nusa. Make no mistake, these specific wingers are the true tactical X factors today. They're the ones hunting for that single, monumental shift in space that's going to break the opponent's defensive line and totally flip the fate of the match.
Section 5. A brutal Miami showdown. But we have to introduce the ultimate environmental wildcard here. Every sprint will hurt, every mistake could end a nation's dream. I say that with dramatic tension because, let's be totally honest for a second. Taking players who are used to the brisk, kind of chilly climates of Oslo and London and just dropping them right into the sweltering 90-degree soup of a Miami summer, yeah, that is a recipe for absolute torture. The climate itself is literally going to act as an extra defender out there, just draining legs and forcing brutal mental errors. And when we connect that physical toll to what the analysts are actually predicting, the tension just multiplies. Because of that insane heat and the massive stakes, we are fully expecting a tight, incredibly physical battle. And because it's going to be so closely contested, there is a really high likelihood that this brutal showdown is going to extend well past 90 minutes. We could very well be looking at the grueling reality of extra time or, yeah, the agonizing lottery of penalty kicks, just to separate these two teams. Which brings us to our final, lingering thought for this explainer. The stage is set, the tactical lines are drawn, and the heat in Miami is absolutely rising. So what's it going to be? Will Haaland lead Norway to football immortality, taking them to heights they have literally never seen? Or will Harry Kane and England march on to yet another World Cup semifinal? Tonight, history belongs to only one team. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and seriously, enjoy the match.